there, and welcome to your wonderful, fabulous life. Now, we're on a mission, and anxiety is the enemy. So, I want you to stay tuned because today I'll be sharing 10 practical ways that you can defeat anxiety and be healthier spirit, soul, and body. Coming right up.
We are closer, closer than before. We are closer with God's power.
Hi, and welcome to your wonderful, fabulous life. My name is Rhonda Crawford. Now, I want you to get ready because today we are defeating anxiety. And with this whole coronavirus drama that we've been thrust into, it just seems like there is another opportunity around every corner for us to be overcome with feelings of uneasiness, with being overwhelmed and feeling anxious, and really just being taken with anxiety. And, it could be just from the reports of coronavirus that we're hearing all the time, all the way to the fact that maybe your job has been touched or has been affected by what's going on in our economy. If you're like me and you have kids at home now and you're having now to make sure that they're doing all their schoolwork and turning their schoolwork in, could be that you may have a parent or a loved one that you're concerned about, or maybe you're a healthcare worker and you're on the front lines. And thank you so much for what you're doing in serving our community. But the fact that you're now on the front line, or you have a job where you have to deal with the public and you're out there doing it every day, and we're so thankful for you. But then now these opportunities for anxiety to just overwhelm us are now abounding with you and with all of us. And so we want to really address that because anxiety can really end up being very destructive, and not just because it's destructive to our mental faculties. Anxiety also can manifest itself in physical symptoms that can affect our physical health. And I want to read some of those to you. It can affect our brain, of course, and cause us to have difficulty concentrating, irritability, and our mood having swings. It can affect our cardiovascular system. It can cause us to have higher cholesterol. It can contribute to high blood pressure. It can affect our joints and muscles negatively, our digestive system negatively, our skin negatively, and it can affect our immune system negatively, to where it causes a decrease in our immune function. And this season, we don't need our immune system to be weaker. We need our immune system to be stronger. So here we go with 10 ways to defeat anxiety, spirit, soul, and body. Number 1 is to have quiet time for yourself every day. Now, I cannot stress the importance of this. Before your day gets off and running, before you get into the schedule of the things that you need to do for that day, before the first problem is brought to you, spending time to sit down and think is invaluable. And in my quiet time, I like to spend time in prayer, spend time with God. And what I do is I bring my Bible, I bring my journal and a pen, and I just sit, spend time in prayer, spend time reading the Bible, and then I write in my journal the things that the Lord is sharing with me as a result of my time with Him. It helps me to focus that day. It helps me to look at my day in the right way. It helps me to think about maybe the previous day and what things I can do differently. It helps God to kind of show me, what things I might need to give attention to on that day. And it really helps me to come to a place where I have a sense of peace and calm before everything starts to jump off, with my kids being up and managing, what's going on with them, and managing what's going on with other responsibilities that I have. So start your day with some quiet time before everything gets going. All right, so now the second one is related to the first one, and that's this. Take some time to confess the word of God over your day before you get started. Taking some time to get in the word and declaring, this is what my day is going to be like, so that you are determining what happens in your day instead of your day determining what happens in you. When you do that, when you take that time to really get in the word and say, you know what, This is a day where I'm going to have the wisdom of God. This is a day where God is on my side and I have an answer for every question. This is a day where I'm not going to be overcome with feelings of fear or anxiety. This is the day where I'm going to have the right focus, and my focus is what God says about me and not what my circumstance or my situation says about me. When you take some time to do that every day, what you're doing is you are releasing your faith and releasing the power of God to be at work for you in your day and in the different circumstances and challenges that may come up during that day. So number 2, take time to confess the word over your day. All right, so now the third thing you want to do to defeat anxiety really is related to the first 2 things, and that is you want to plan your day before it starts. And the best way to plan your day is to actually back up and at the beginning of your week, plan your week out. As you think about that week and all the things that you need to do, you want to write down the list of what has to happen this week. What do I have to absolutely have accomplished by Friday, by Saturday? And then as you think about that, each day you break down what has to be done by the end of the week into smaller tasks that you tackle each day. So as you're thinking about your next day, you already have in mind the things that need to be done that week, and you know that you want to do something that's going to take a chunk out of whatever that responsibility that needs to be done. So that's how your day can become more than just your schedule running you, but you running your schedule. Okay, so the fourth way that you can defeat anxiety is this: choose to forgive. Come to a place where you will not allow anything that anyone has done to get you into a place of strife or unforgiveness. And not only is that how God has instructed us to live, but it's also something that it can affect us physically. And I want to read this to you. I found this on johnshopkinsmedicine.org, where they share that studies found that the act of forgiving can reap rewards for your health, where it can lower the risk of heart attack, where it can improve cholesterol levels, improve your quality of sleep, reduce pain, blood pressure, and it reduces levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. So choose to forgive. All right, so now the fifth way that you can defeat anxiety is this, and I know that all the coffee lovers out there are just going to think I'm so wonderful for sharing it, but it's to cut down on your consumption of caffeinated beverages. What caffeine does when we take it in is it makes our heart rate go up, and that can contribute to feelings of restlessness. It can cause us to have a lower quality of sleep, and it can just cause a jittery feeling that contributes to that whole feeling of anxiousness and anxiety. And for me, this is an area that I had to deal with because I enjoy the taste and the smell of coffee, but I recognized at the end of the year last year that I was just taking in too much, and so I had to kind of really drastically cut back. So that's number 5. All right, so number 6 is this: exercise. Get active. Go outside, go for a walk, go for a jog, ride your bike, do something. See, what exercise does is it reduces our body's stress hormones, and then it also releases endorphins that improve our mood and act as natural painkillers. Exercise also helps to raise our quality of sleep, so we want to get some exercise in. All right, so now the 7th way to defeat anxiety is this: do not compare yourself with anyone else. See, comparing ourselves with others is probably one of the least productive things that we could ever do. And the temptation is there to really look at what somebody else is doing and kind of compare it with how things are going for you, especially during this season where you maybe have a friend or someone that you know, and it seems like, their job wasn't affected like your job, or it seems like they're doing a better job in making sure that their kids are doing their online work, at home than you are. And so we can end up looking around at different people, and if it seems like someone's doing better than us, then, we feel kind of down. But if it seems like we're doing better than them, then we feel a little bit better about ourselves. And you know what? God never intended for other people to be the standard for our lives. He always designed it where his word is to be the standard for our lives, and we are to adjust and we are to conform our lives and our thinking to line up with what he has to say about us in his word. And he has a set of unique standards that are directly designed just for your purpose. And when we are in the position of looking at what other people are doing, we can't find out what that unique set of standards are because our focus is on somebody else's standards. So always remember, do not compare so we can stay in peace. All right, so number 8 is this: be decisive. Zig Ziglar said that indecision was one of the main causes of worry. And that's because we've got this situation that we know is way long overdue in coming up with a decision for, but it's just kind of lingering there, and all of the particulars that go along with that situation are just kind of floating around in our minds and mixing with all the other things that are going on in our lives and causing anxiety. And I think a lot of times we end up in a place of being indecisive because we're just afraid of making a mistake, being afraid of failure. But you know what? Even if we do make a mistake, even if it's the wrong decision, failure is not final. It's not final unless we allow it to be final. Failure can actually be a place where we can rise up and learn from the decision that we made, where we can learn what to do better the next time. And it actually can propel us to a place of success. As we learn what not to do, we can get closer to what we should do. All right, so the 9th way to defeat anxiety is this: don't be a mind reader. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that we have to come to the place where we stop trying to figure out what someone else is thinking about us. You might be in a conversation with someone and maybe they look off for a moment or make a funny face while you're talking, and you're thinking, okay, did I say something to offend them? Is it something I did? Or maybe you have a friend that hadn't responded to a text, or you haven't heard from another person for a while, and you're thinking, okay, are they upset with me? And you try to think of all the things that maybe you could have done that might have upset the person. And so we end up in this place of increasing our anxiety because we're trying to figure out, could somebody be thinking negatively about me? Could I have done something to affect how they're thinking about me? And it ends up being one of the worstless activities that we can ever engage in. You know what? I heard this statement that what others think about you is none of your business. What someone else thinks about you is between them and God. So leave it alone. Leave it alone and let it be between them and the person who can deal with them about you. And the only person who really can do that effectively, of course, is God. So don't be a mind reader. All right, so the 10th and final way to defeat anxiety is to laugh, to find something funny and have a good belly laugh. Really, really laugh. The Bible says that laughter does good like a medicine, and I want to read this to you. It says that laughter, of course, it triggers the release of endorphins. It gives you a sense of well-being. Endorphins are natural painkillers. It reduces stress and anxiety. Ding, ding, ding. It can cause your heart rate to slow down and your blood pressure to decrease. And it can also improve immune function. So find a way to laugh today and defeat anxiety. All right, so anxiety is enemy number 1, and it is defeated. It's going down as we employ these methods. So I trust that this has added value to you, and I want to ask you to please go ahead and like and share this with others. Also, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. I look forward to seeing you soon. Be blessed. Bye.
We're together.